Welcome back to the deep dive. We're looking at a really interesting source today. B2 Rainy Season Korea Day7 Full. And it guides us through something central to Korean life. Jangma. That's the big rainy season.
Right. And what's great about this source is how clearly it lays things out. It's not just facts. It helps you sort of feel the rhythm of Jangma, why it matters so much, the good and the bad.
Okay, so let's unpack that. What exactly is Jangma? When does it hit, typically?
Yeah.
And what's behind it climatically?
Well, the source tells us it usually kicks off around late June, running through to mid-July. And we're not talking about light showers here. It's known for heavy, pretty continuous rain.
Heavy and continuous.
Yeah. And the cause. It's basically a seasonal monsoon effect. It draws up all this warm, damp air from the south.
Right, that tropical moisture feed.
Yeah.
And the source talks about impacts, doesn't it? Both sides of the coin.
Absolutely. It paints a really clear picture. On one hand, all that water is, well, vital. Think about agriculture. Farmers rely on it for their crops. Super important.
A necessary deluge, then. But there's a flip side.
Definitely. The source points out the challenges, especially, in cities. Heavy rain means serious traffic delays, sometimes flooding. Daily life can really slow down.
Yeah, I can imagine. Commuting must be tough.
It can be. And the source even mentions sometimes schools might close or events get canceled because the weather's just too severe.
Wow. So, okay, how do people actually manage day to day? How do they navigate all that water?
It's all about adaptation, really. The source highlights this well. You see everyone with umbrellas, obviously, but also proper waterproof gear, raincoats, boots. It's standard practice.
So it's less like an emergency and more like just adjusting the routine for a few weeks.
Exactly. It's an expected part of the rhythm, which kind of leads to the next point the source touches on. How do Koreans generally feel about Jangma, considering the hassle?
Right, despite the floods and traffic jams.
Well, the perspective seems to be that, yeah, it's inconvenient, but it's just summer. It's natural. And there's light at the end of the tunnel, too. The source notes that after Jangma passes, you usually get clear skies, and the really hot weather kicks in, peak summer, basically.
An accepted cycle. Now, you mentioned the source gets you thinking beyond just the facts. What kind of things?
Yeah, it pushes a bit deeper. It prompts you to weigh those pros and cons. We talked about the essential water versus the disruption.
Okay.
And it asks you to think personally, like, how do you prepare when you know heavy rain is coming? What's your strategy?
That's a good question. Makes you reflect on your own climate.
For sure. But maybe the biggest question it raises looking forward is about change. Is Jangma itself changing? Is climate change maybe making the rains heavier or the season longer, perhaps?
Ah, so the historical rhythm might be shifting.
Yeah.
That's a really crucial point for the future.
It really is. It's something scientists and people there are starting to consider more seriously.
Well, that's certainly given us a lot to think about regarding Korea's rainy season. We've gone from the monsoon mechanics to daily life adaptations and even these bigger climate questions.
Absolutely. It just shows how something like seasonal weather is woven into the fabric of life, impacting agriculture, city planning, even cultural outlooks. And maybe that's the final thought for you listening. How do major weather patterns where you live shape things, your daily routines, your community, maybe even your cultural understanding? What do those connections tell us?